Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, dude.
Welcome everybody to another video. So for today's video, to discuss something that there's a lot of different videos on it and podcasts on it and other things like that, but we're going to talk about plans for the future and going out of state, and not just hunting your home state, but if you wanted to travel and hunt other states and other species of deer, elk, and so on. How do you go about it? For us, like many of you, we work a full-time job, we have a family and kids and everything, and so we have to balance with our hunting life, with our personal life and our work life, and we're only given so many days off. And how can we maximize those days off to days in the field with also balancing the good family life and having vacations or taking time off to spend it with them as well? So obviously everybody's going to hunt their home state, hunt near their home, or whether you're on the East Coast or Midwest and you're hunting your property, or you're hunting close to your house and you're coming back and forth home every night, or you're out west and you're hunting your home state and you take weekends, a long weekend or a 4-day weekend, or just normal weekend to go hunt in your home state. Maybe some of you have wanted to go and pursue another state and hunt it out of state, but you're kind of nervous to do that. And for some of us, that's a lot of money to invest in a tag when we want to be successful. And how do we know we're going to be successful, or we want that challenge or anything like that? And we don't want to take away time from our home state of us harvesting animals there as well. I know for me and Garrett, one thing that we've been trying to do is getting out of our comfort zone, going to those new states and maximizing the animals we can harvest and our opportunities as well. A big thing for us is we want to maximize our opportunities. So when we go into applying for different states, we are not going with the mindset of trying to go to a trophy unit. Obviously, we'd all love to shoot a big trophy animal with lower hunter densities and everything like that, but we're trying to go for those more general tags that are easy to acquire and have a decent success rate. So there's lots of information out there on finding all this stuff out and places you can go. One place we go a lot is we go to gohunt.com. They have lots of information on where draw odds, if there is a state that has draw opportunities, what the rules for those states are, the species that are in them, and a lot of information about the specific units as well. Another thing we use is Onyx. So once we find a unit that we want to go to, we go to Onyx, which I'm going to be doing another video on that for this year's elk hunt that we're going to do in Oregon, and how we go about doing some e-scouting, because me being stationed in Georgia right now and Garrett in Virginia, we can't get out to Oregon to do any type of scouting this summer and so on. So a lot of our is going to depend on e-scouting and a little bit of experience that I have of being there as well. Getting out of state, right? So the first thing you got to do is you have to pick, what kind of animal do you want to go for, and then what states have you interested in it. So many states have to where you have to draw for a particular hunt, especially being non-residents. Being non-resident, in many of the states, they only allow so many percentage of the tags to go to non-residents. And once again, you can find out all that information at Go Hunt. And each state's a little bit different. There are states out there that don't do preference points or bonus points, and that's a whole nother discussion. And there's many podcasts on which states have preference points and bonus points, and how to go through the different application processes, because you're not always guaranteed when you put in for a tag that you're going to draw that tag. The other faction that we have to also go into is not all of us have unlimited resources as far as money goes. And some of these states out there, they require you to pay the whole tag cost and the license fee up front when you apply. And then if unsuccessful, they might refund you the money when they draw 2-3 months later. An example is Wyoming. It's like $1,000 for an elk tag in the general draw. You have to pay all that fee up front. And then when they release their draws on who gets tags back in later in May, that's when you get a refund if you're unsuccessful. And if you are trying to make sure you hunt in a state that year, and you're gonna kind of divvy out a little bit, and then whatever state you draw in is where you're gonna go, that can be difficult because a lot of the other states have already, their application deadlines have already passed when you get the money back from Wyoming, and maybe you were gonna use that money elsewhere. So now, caveat with that is there are a couple states, Montana and Wyoming, that both buy preference points without applying for the draw. Now, that is a separate time frame that's open for that. So both of Wyoming and Montana, July 1st is when they open up for bonus points only, and I think it closes in October 31st. And during that time frame, I think it's roughly $50 in each state to buy a preference point. And that is, you don't plan on hunting in that state, so you plan on buying a preference point without putting in for the draw. So you can still put in for the draw and gain a preference point that way, but maybe you didn't have plans to hunt that state, so you're going to buy a preference point to where you don't accidentally get drawn, and then you're committed to hunting that state when you planned on hunting another state. Now with that, another thing that me and Garrett look into is opportunities. And what opportunities do we have if we apply in those states? So one state that we're both applying for is Arizona. Now Arizona, you have to buy a license prior to put in for the draw. And then if successful, they automatically charge your credit card or whatever card you put down, the tag fee. Now, the license is not cheap. It can be a decent price, but one thing that you can do is they do sell over-the-counter deer tags. So we put in for the drawing for elk, and with that license we already bought, we can go and buy over-the-counter deer tags. That license also covers you for birds, upland birds, waterfowl, and stuff like that. And you can also buy leftover tags for javelina if you chose to hunt those as well. One thing that I know both me and Garrett plan on trying to do is we plan on trying to go in those late January or middle of January, late season archery deer hunts that they offer in Arizona. Therefore, we buy the license and put in for the draw. It is difficult to draw in Arizona, but there's always a chance that you can, and we're gaining preference points as well. Another kind of weird thing that you can do is for those states that do have preference points and bonus points, or they work on that type of a system, most of us don't want to go hunt by ourselves. So we're going to go with a group, and you can put in for a draw in a party. When you put in for the party, now each state's a little bit different as well. Some states take the average amount of points that each one member in the party have. So if I'm just putting in me and Garrett in a party and I have 1 point and he has 3 points, well, when we put in as a party, we have 2 points. Now, some states take whoever has the lowest amount of points, and that is how many points you as a party have for that hunt. Now, the good thing about when you put in as a party is if the party gets drawn, everybody in that party gets a tag and a license. So for that animal. So there is positives to put in for a party. Like I said, most of us don't want to ever go hunting by ourselves, and then we don't have friends or family that have the ability to take time off and not hunt and just come with us to help us out. So if I'm going to go on a hunt, I want to be a tag holder. So same with Garrett. He wants to have the opportunity to fill a tag as well, and we can work together in that way. So one thing that we're doing is for the states that have preference points or bonus points in drawing is we are splitting those states up, and I'll take half the states, he'll take half the states that we want to hunt in, and then we're building points in those states. And then when we decide that, okay, we're going to dedicate this year, we're going to hunt X state, we will both put in as a party together, and we will average out our points for those states. So that's kind of our tactic that we're going with. We're also looking 3-5 years in advance. So we're not planning we're looking at states that we want to hunt 3 years from now, and we're starting to do the work now to build points, because now a lot of the states out there, you can draw every third year. Some you can draw every other year. But we're looking at units and opportunities that are good. And so we're looking at the every third year, roughly, design as of right now. Now, there's other states out there that have over the counter, and you can hunt there every year, archery, rifle, so on. And once again, a lot of that information is all in Go Hunt, and you can go in there and find exactly what you're looking for to be able to hunt. And they have the draw odds. So for non-residents, if you want to draw, there's units in there that you can draw every year, and you can go and you can be successful. They might have lower animal densities compared to the number of hunters that are allowed in that area, and that's why you're more successful in drawing and less people want to go there. But you can go and hunt every year in that state if that's what you choose to do. But like I said, me and Garrett, we're trying to go on the every third year, 4-year plan of states that we want to hunt. That's why this year we're going to Oregon. So Oregon for archery is majority of the state is over the counter, and you just go there. You can buy your elk tag, your deer tag over the counter for archery, and you can go hunting that same day. Another state that we're looking at doing that for is Idaho. Idaho is an over the counter, and we're looking at maybe possibly going to Idaho in the next year or two while we build points in other states where it takes a lot more of our money and time and everything to go hunt those states. Like I said, we're trying to balance our time. Like we would love to go hunt 2 or 3 states for elk in September into October and try to line up the season so we just gone and go hunting. But with working a full-time job in the military, we can't take that much time off in a row, as well as with our families and balancing time and everything like that. And we're not trying to have hunting take all of our time off that we're allowed. So like I said, we divide ours up. So to kind of wrap everything up, what you want to do is you want to find what animal do you want to hunt, what state do you want to hunt, and what weapon system you want to hunt that with. And maybe you kind of diverse it up and you spread it out a little bit everywhere. Maybe you just want to go hunt elk out of state, or maybe you're trying to go on a mule deer hunt out west or something like that. So pick that, identify that, and just get your feet wet with that. Maybe you go hunt one out of state animal this year, and then the next year you're planning on 2 of them, and you go one state and then you go to another state and so on. This year, me and Garrett, like I said, if you watched our past videos, we went out of state this year and went to Kansas. Great opportunity. Once again, another state that if you're non-resident, you have to get drawn for. But it was an awesome hunt. Great opportunity. Both had opportunities to harvest animals, and that's all we can ask for in the end. So hopefully you guys can be able to pick up a little bit of what I'm putting out there, and how we approach going out of state and everything. And we're, like I said, the biggest thing, look years in the future. Look 3 years from now. What states would you like to hunt? And you got to start doing the work now. There's some states out there that you'll look at the draw odds and everything, and you're not drawing for 15, 20 years. So I'm not even worrying about those states. And there's states that I would love to go hunt, but there's just, as a non-resident, the opportunity's not there. And it costs so much money to apply for those states that I wish I can put that money elsewhere and save it up for some other tags in another state. So do your homework, get on Go Hunt, do the research, also get on each state's fish and game site and pull up their regulations on what they have and what they offer, and how does their draw system work, because every state's a little bit different. Some have preference points, bonus points. Some have a preference point, bonus points hybrid. Some do no points at all and everybody's equal. And then each state also gives only a certain percentage of tags for a unit to non-residents. So make sure you go and look at all that up when you make your decisions. That way you can make a timely decision. And if you're like us, we're on a budget. We try to maximize our money to go to every opportunity that we can have. And we're looking for meat in that freezer. We're not going for trophy areas, but we're going for quality animals that can put meat in our freezer and give us quality opportunities. So I hope this kind of helped any of you that had some questions about it. And if you do have more questions, leave it down in the comments, and myself and Garrett can reach back to you. And if I don't know the answer, I will find the answer for you and be able to give you what you need to help you out. So I hope this helped anybody out there that was kind of scared about going out of state and how abouts to get into doing it. And it's not too expensive. You can get in there, you can buy points, and then when you decide to hunt that state, that's when you invest, and it gives you time to save up some of that money for those tags and your time off. Now, little secret for you military guys out there that I'm gonna let you know. Oregon, if you are non-resident but you're in the military, you can still buy a license for, if it's a general tag, so a non-controlled hunt, a general over-the-counter tag at resident cost. So that's something I wish myself and Garrett, now I'm a resident of Oregon, so I'm already hunting at a resident cost, but if I would have known that years ago, we would have been hunting Oregon every year since. And while we're still in the military, you're probably going to see us hunt Oregon every year, because we just cannot pass up the opportunity to hunt a state out west at resident costs, being not living in that state currently. So you're going to see us hunt Oregon for the next few years, maybe dabbling into some other states as well, and the states that we live in. But for sure, we're going to be hunting Oregon archery elk every year. And I'm going to have another video talking about how we went the process of selecting the unit that we're going to go to, where we're going to go, and so on. Because yeah, both of us, Garrett's never been to Oregon and hunted. I haven't been there in 13 years and hunted. So it's been a while. So excited. Can't wait for fall to come around. And hopefully you guys are able to get out there. There are some states, like I said, that you can still, if you said, screw it, I'm going to go hunt this year. There's still states out there that you can go and hunt and buy over-the-counter non-resident tags. For many of the states, as this video comes out, depending on when you're watching it, the tag deadline or the draw deadlines have already expired. So if you're going to do this, plan on start looking right after January 1st of next year. Because there's some states, like Arizona comes out, or their deadline's the first week of February. Wyoming is right around that time as well. So hopefully this helps some of you guys. Thanks for watching. And if you have a question, put it down there in those comments. Appreciate it. Thank you.